Hey, while we're here, let's talk about how you can get your own personal tarot card reading with A Cup of Stars Tarot and follow me on social media. Anytime you need some insight into a current situation, or even if you need answers to something that has already happened, contact me for clarity. I use tarot cards, oracle cards, and when necessary, I use a pendulum as well. Follow me on my TikTok and you can join in on my live recordings as I do tarot card readings for my audience in the comment section. A message for one person may be enough of a message for someone else, so don't miss out. Click the link in the description of this video and let's connect. Let's jump back into the video.
People are just people. And I'm going to tell you something. A person's title will give you undeserved, it will have you giving them undeserved loyalty. Like you'll ask yourself, why do I still deal with this? How am I being served through this relationship? It's like a mother who says, I raised you, like they wasn't just doing their job. Exactly. Right. What and when people like to throw out the verse, honor thy mother and father, your days will be longer. But there's also a verse in the Bible that says, don't provoke your kids. And that's what I meant earlier when I said your parents would be like, as long as you're under my roof, you'll follow my rules. But they do things to keep you from being able to move out. They'll charge you like a whole lot of rent, half the mortgage to stay there. And you don't have nowhere else to go, and you can't save money because they're taking all of your money. Or they create these rules where you got to be in a house at a certain time or don't come home, knowing you have nowhere else to go. So you can't have a social life after work. You can't have a social life on the weekends. They have all these things for you to do, all these errands for you to run for the house. They have all these things they do for you to kind of keep you sucked in. Like, well, you didn't have to pay the full rent this month. Or you know what? I know you're responsible for the electric bill. I'll pay it this month. Just to give you a couple dollars in your pocket to make you feel like you're doing something. But then you can't. You can't have company. They don't want you to be out late. They don't want you to go nowhere. They want you to always tell them where you are and what you're doing. They do things to keep you in. That's the type of situation I was in. And I'm going to tell you what freed me. I was 23 or 24 years old, and I just didn't want to live with my mama no more. I didn't. And I had actually moved. For anyone who's thinking, dang, you was 24 and you finally moved out the house. No, I went to college and I was doing pretty good. And my mama sucked me in because she had gotten a 2004 Chevy Impala in 2004. And she brought it to me and said, I got you a car. And I was like, oh, shit. And then she was like, it's $400 a month. And I was like, I don't have a car. She said, well, no, I don't have a job. She said, well, get one. And she left me the keys. And I drove that car, and I wasn't struggling because I didn't have any kids back then. I quit college, which I didn't want to be there anyway. Quit school, got me an apartment that was $500 a month. So the $500 for my rent, the $400 for the car. I had 3 jobs. My light bill was like, maybe $30 a month. I looked up and got an apartment where gas, heat, and water was included. The heat ran off of gas. The stove ran off of gas. And of course, water was free. So my electric bill was like $30 a month because all I had was literally my lights. I didn't watch TV. I didn't listen to the radio. So I didn't have anything really plugged in. It was just my lights. And I had 3 jobs. And this is in 2005. So now that I look back, I guess I was making good money for 2005, right? Then I moved to Houston, Texas. So I'm from North Carolina. I moved to Houston, Texas to live with my cousin. So I'm still in my 20s. I moved to Houston, Texas to live with my cousin. And my mom just kept threatening me because I think I missed one payment on that car. And she was like, if you don't bring the car back, I'm going to come to Texas and I'm going to da-da-da-da-da. And my uncle, who was her younger brother, was like, hey, go home. Go home because I don't want her to come out here starting no mess, right? I went back to stay with my mom. So now we're in 2006 because I moved to Houston in like February of 2006. And like June, July-ish, I moved back to Tennessee with my mom. My aunt called me. Her husband said, if you want to move back to North Carolina, you can live in our basement for $250 a month. And I moved to their house. And I've been on my own ever since. Except in 2000, so that was 2006. In 2007, I got tired. Thank you. I got tired of paying $400 a month for that car. So in November of 2007, I laid the keys on the counter in my aunt's house. And I told my mom, if you want the car, come and get it. I'm not driving it no more. I'm not making payments no more because it was in her name. That was in 2007, November 2007. Well, January 2008, I found out I'm pregnant. Also, my mom had an aneurysm January 2008. So two big things happened. I found out I was pregnant. 10 days later, she had an aneurysm. I'm her only child, which makes me the next of kin. Not my grandma, not my cousin who was already in Tennessee. And I was 4 hours away from Tennessee when I found out that she had an aneurysm. And I had to be taken to Tennessee to sign the papers for her to have surgery. Because remember, I gave her the car back 2 months earlier. So I go to Tennessee, literally save her life, and she's still being this mean person, right? Fast forward to 2016, in May of 2016, we are at my mom's house. We get into this disagreement, not even an argument. It was just a disagreement, and she pushed me. She shoved me with both hands, pushed me. During the time, now keep in mind, this is 2016. I had my son in 2008, so he's about 7 or 8 years old. During that time, I was teaching my son about respect. And I always tell him, when I'm telling you about people, I'm part of people. Okay, I'm part of that group of people. So I was teaching him about respect. Don't let anybody disrespect you. Not even me. Don't let anybody call you out your name. Don't let nobody put their hands on you. If there is somebody who is disrespecting you and you don't think you can handle them, you tell an adult, preferably me. But if it's me, you can still tell me, right? As I'm teaching my son about respect and not to be disrespected, my mom shoves me in front of my son. Okay? So that put me in a tight spot. For one, I'm an adult, so don't put your hands on me. And I told her, if you put your hands on me again, I'll call the police. And I left. And I never spoke to her again since that day, May of 2016. When I was taking my son home, I told him, I said, remember we were talking about respect? He said, yes. I said, that was very disrespectful of her. I said, it doesn't matter who disrespects you. You don't have to take it off of anybody. In my mind, how am I going to display an act of not being disrespected if I let my mom disrespect me? And I never spoke to her again. Never did. I never uttered another word. I sure didn't. Now, the consequence of that was my family felt like they had to choose between her or me, and they chose her. And that is how I became a loner. That is how I learned how to find peace with being by myself. That's how I learned how to fill my own cup. That's how I learned how to go out and explore the world, because sometimes a loss in one area is a gain in another. Did somebody hear that? A loss in one area is a gain in another. Because if I was still living under her roof, following her rules, I wouldn't be where I am today. I'll be 44 years old Wednesday. I would be a 44-year-old grown woman living under somebody else's roof, asking for help all the time, probably still wouldn't have a car, be mad at everybody because they're ahead of me and all this stuff. No, she was holding me back. And that's why I try to tell people whenever they come on here and ask these questions, should I go back to this person? They ghosted me. They do no contact. I haven't spoken to this person. I broke up with them. They're ignoring my phone calls. You have to realize that when people let you go, sometimes they're doing you a favor. Some people like being the villain, but they don't like to be repeat offenders. Some people want to hurt you once, get their point across, and move on. And you have people down on their knees grabbing them by their ankles. No, hurt me again, hurt me again. I haven't learned my lesson yet. Come on, hurt me. That's what I get when people come in here asking, should I go back? Should I be with this person? I don't want to go through a divorce. It's more challenging. No, people are doing you a favor when they cross your boundary. And when you take your foot and you draw a line in the dirt and you say, don't cross this line, and they cross that line, don't you dare take a step back and draw another line. Baby, that was it for you. I don't care what your title is. I don't care how long we've known each other. I don't care what you've done for me. I don't care if I reciprocated. I don't care if I didn't reciprocate. That was the line. You crossed it. There's no more chances.